Hey everybody, welcome back. I thought I'd just give a quick update on kind of where I am in the process of getting all the beer brewed for the season. I think when we last got together we were brewing the amber ale, and I did 2 batches of that, and that's just about done fermenting at this point. So it's going to get transferred over to the secondary today. Both batches will go into the secondary. And then really all that's left after that is bottling the honey weiss and the amber ale, which I expect to have done probably the 3rd week in March. We'll be all wrapped up on that. So that will put me at, and I'm just guessing right now because I always seem to get about 52 or 54 bottles of beer out of a batch. But I think we're going to be pushing around a little over 400 bottles of beer at that point, with about 3 batches, 3 to 5 batches of grain left to do, some Kolsch, another honey wheat, and we're picking up some grain when we're up north for some chocolate sweet stout. And then I still have the pumpkin batch, but I'm not going to do that probably until late September, so that it's, ready, November-ish. That's always I've only brewed it once, and it was a great beer, so I'm going to up the pumpkin spice just a hair on it this next time. It was really subtle and people loved it, but I'd like to just get a hint more on that. So in the meantime, with all of that stuff going on, it's been nothing but, transfer, bottle, cleanup. And so I started looking through all my bottle supplies, and I think I'm going to just make it with what I've got. The problem with, and you probably know this too, is when you have homebrew, people start saying, oh gee, could I have a couple bottles? Or, maybe as a gift you take 12 bottles and give them out. And the problem is you never really get the bottles back, or if you do get them back, they're not in the kind of shape you're really hoping they'd come back to you on. So I've gotten quite a few bottles back that have been moldy, and then that's kind of a disgusting mess. So, am I going to have to invest in some more bottles? Maybe. We'll see. Certainly not too many, but it probably wouldn't hurt to have a couple cases around, because that's just the nature of the beast, giving beer away. So last weekend, and I've talked about this before, when I put this brew stand together, I basically had the boil kettle sitting below the mash tun. Not directly below it, it was coming out on the other side, but not diametrically opposed to it. So it was off on an angle, and the heat would come up, and so I could never leave the mash tun up here with the boil kettle going, because that for sure it would have melted the mash tun. That's just how hot it gets. So last weekend I decided, well, I'll do something different. I'm gonna see if I can move all of this stuff, move the boil kettle around so that I can actually start boiling out in front and not really have the heat rising and affecting any other part of the brew stand. So that's what I did. Just give you a quick look at it here. There's the boil kettle, and you can see now it's coming straight out. The mash tun's in the back, and then the hot liquor tank is obviously up over to the right. So this is an improvement for a couple of reasons. One, not just because I can mash in earlier now, which is an advantage, but I always had to maneuver around the boil kettle to actually mash in to start with, to dump the grain in and mix it. So this opens up the back area for me to actually get up and over the mash tun a lot easier than kind of straining and being forward. So there were a lot of reasons why this was a really good move. And if I did it all over again, from the start, I probably would have thought through it a lot more carefully and set it up like this to begin with. The only other problem that I encountered when I did this is I had to do a little bit of addition to the gas line. So I needed to get a couple 2-inch nipples, an elbow, and a connector to hook into the gas line so that I could still reach the boil kettle. And I've tried everything out now as far as gas and have it adjusted, and it works great. So this will be a major improvement for me. It sticks out a little bit into the room, but it doesn't stick out any further than the front legs stuck out to begin with. So it's really not taking up any more space than it would have taken up to begin with. So that's kind of it. I had kind of toyed around with the idea of actually doing a quick video on bottling, but bottling is so boring. And I mean, it's just very repetitive. But usually I can knock out 2 cases from start to finish, including cleanup and everything, in about an hour. So it's not a big deal. I know a lot of people don't like bottling. I love bottling only because you have a lot of variety in your cooler when people come over. Now I do have kegs, and I have kegged before, and I enjoy that. And I guess if I get into a shortage with bottles, I can either go into the 24-ounce big bottles, or I can go into, you know, the kegs, and then still have a mix of beer off to the side. So that's kind of my plan. So anyway, that's it for now until we get together next time. It's very, very early in the morning here. It's about, it's still dark out. It's about 7 a.m. right now. And there's tons of wind, and it's going to be a nice 85-degree day, which is, you know, nice for March 12th, my daughter's birthday, by the way. So anyway, that's it. Hope you guys have a great week. We'll see you next time. This has been a Matty Boy presentation. Say bye-bye, Matty.
Bye-bye.